It just seems like such a cruel twist of fate. It's like, can we ever really be happy if we're not all happy? Especially as empaths. Clearly, I feel way too much. But that's what it feels like. It feels like all signs point to somebody should be happy and at peace and bliss. But it feels like they are absorbing or taking on or aware of or something of negative. And due to that duality, reality, life here on planet Earth, it's like they can never truly enjoy the fruits of their labor. They can never truly be happy. They can never truly fully be satiated because of that knowing, because of that awareness. And it's like they can make all the logical sense in the world. They can say, well, they just have to change their mindset. They just have to eat their karma. They just have to, they just have, but it doesn't change. Even knowing all that, even rationalizing all that, even knowing you enjoying, you living, you being happy isn't taking away from their ability to do such. Doesn't change that you're aware that they're not. It does seem like this is a problem for somebody, which I can so relate to, and I think many people can. It's like we can understand and make ourselves feel better by telling ourselves the right thing and the reality of it and knowing the hard work we went through to get happy. But it's like just as soon as we're happy, it does seem like we are struck down with that awareness, that reality. It's almost like our inability to not give a fuck is also our greatest problem. They more or less kept showing me the same scene. It was all different types of people, groups, individuals. It was all the same idea, which boiled down to a seesaw. When one's up, one's down. When the other's up, the other's down. It was like they couldn't get to neutral ground, which you technically can, but it was not the case in any scenario, not one. It was all this, and it was also this awareness of that. It was the awareness that when the one was up, it was like their up was fleeting because of their recognition that the other was down. And it was like, I don't want to be up because you're down. But going back down, now you're up and I'm down. Right? So again, we can rationalize and understand that we are not responsible for what others choose or how they feel and what they tell themselves. We can talk all this to death, but it's not changing the duality here on earth, nor the awareness and recognition that some of us have that inability to turn that do not give a fuck switch on or off. It's like we don't have that switch. It's like that's not optional for everyone. Even when they can make logical sense of how ridiculous it can seem and feel and be, recognizing everybody has a choice and is a mirror and we're here to learn and all of that can be taken place. Oh, no problem. I can talk all that to death, understand it all, the whole 9 yards. And yet, there is this switch that does not seem to change in some of us. So is it unteachable? Is it unbreakable? Is it ungrowable? What is it? What's the problem? It seems cruel. Maybe it's because in all the scenes they also made it very dramatic. It was in what I would consider, Of the course, they played on my strings, of my emotions. They made it very much a good guy, bad guy, meaning when the good guy was up and the good guy was winning, the good guy couldn't even enjoy winning because he recognized, was that it? Because part of his winning was because the bad guy was down? Is that part of the problem? Probably, right? Maybe that was why it agitated me. It's that people tend to think others have to be down for them to be up. They hinge a winner. They hinge a competition. They hinge a fight. They hinge a good guy, bad guy. And it did play on my emotional strings because I don't like that. And I don't believe that's the case because it's so very judgy and it's short-sighted. It's just greedy and silly and lack. It's living in lack. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's the switch that, but again, we can logically talk this through, but then why do I keep feeling that fuckery? It's like faulty. It's like a faulty wiring or a faulty system or a defect. It does. Which again, we've talked about can be the blessing or the curse, but it seems like it's almost like a defect in some people. Where it's like our inability to accept pleasure fully and completely because of the awareness. It's like the reality of the inequality, and yet, again, we can rationalize away and understand away. But again, it doesn't change. So then it's like, it's back to this martyrdom or savior, or it does feel like it's religion's twisted in it somehow. Man, that shit gets its claws and everything, doesn't it? It's woven through every area of our lives. Even when it's told it's separate, it's not. It's the base and foundation of so much, of everything. Because there's a lot of truth to it. There's a lot of truth to all of it. But again, how are you reading it? From your ego or from your higher self, your connected state? And it's written from both as well. And you can hear it when you read it, how it was written from the ego in parts. And it's meant that way. It's meant for us to see through that illusion, to show us. Just like it talks about how it talks about sacrificing children or something like this, firstborn. But people took that as, when they were hearing it from their ego, they took it as actually harming or killing. And so it says later in the book somewhere, something like, are you out of your fucking minds? Would you ever dare think I would hurt or harm a child of mine? Right? Like it was the idea of, I would never tell you to do that. So it contradicts itself in the Bible if you're reading it from a lower vibration and can't hear the difference or see the difference. But that's the point. It's to teach us. Are you able to hear through, see through, read through? Can you feel the difference of conditional and unconditional? Humans are very conditional. We like this right and wrong, winner, loser, up, down. People thrive on it. People foam at the mouth for it. People count on it. People depend on it. The world runs on it. Without it, much of everything will collapse. If everybody truly loved themselves, it would just rip everything out from the root. The whole foundation of so much of people's thinking, moving, talking, speaking, actions is based on that philosophy of right and wrong, good and bad. Judging, judgy-wudgy. We depend and count on it. It is how people are fear-mongered and influenced to move the way others want them to move. If you don't have the implanted moral code that is told you should have by many, then there's a problem. And so it's like some people have this button where it's like they innately know that's wrong. And they innately know that there's no need for anyone to suffer. And to keep forcing that down people's throats and pushing that narrative is causing many harm. Because it is just repeated and screaming at us left, right, and center. And so we're swallowing it consciously and subconsciously. And that repetition is ingraining it as a belief that we continue telling ourselves, but we were fed it by outside ourselves. But then we're gaslit and convinced that we did that and we accepted that. And one could argue that for sure. And one could argue it got its claws in us prior to that awareness. But then it's just the amount of work it takes to unravel that. Some aren't strong enough. We could go on for days. Let's not. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.